Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today's video is on standard form. We're going to learn how to write an ordinary number in standard form. So we're going to get started with this number over here. Now, in order to do that, the first thing is to try and understand the reason why standard form is written in the manner it is. A number is written in standard form in the form of a unit multiplied by a power of 10. Okay, so let's get started over here. First, I'm going to write down the place values of this particular number. So we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Now the number system we use is of base 10. So every place value is 10 times larger than the previous one. So the units, in primary schools, they also call it ones because it essentially is increasing by one every single time in that column. Here you're increasing by 10 in the tens, hundreds you're increasing by 100, thousands you're increasing by 1,000, and the 10,000 you're increasing by 10,000. Okay, now I'm going to write these as powers of 10. So 10,000 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be 10 to the power 4, right? And then this will be 10 to the power 3. And this will be 10 to the power 2. And this would be 10 to the power 1. The units would then be 10 to the power 0. And if we had, say, a few more numbers here, let's add some decimal numbers like 8, 9, 6. Yeah. So the place values would be 10th, 100th. Let me try that again. 1,000th. And this would be 1/10th. This would be 100th. This would be 1,000th. So because it's increasing by 1,000th over there. And the powers over here would be 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power minus 2. This would be 10 to the power minus 3, and so on. So when I'm writing a number in standard form, I have to write it as a unit. So I look at the first non-zero digit from the left. In this case, the first non-zero digit from the left is the 3. I'm going to write it as a unit. So after 3, I will have, let me shift that 3 here, the decimal point, and all these digits will come all after the decimal point. 2, 1, 5, 7, 8, 9, 6. Okay, now I have to multiply by a power of 10. How do I know what power of 10? I look at its place value, 10,000s. That's 10,000 here. That's the same as 10 to the power 4. So I multiply by 10 to the power 4. Okay, so let's look at another example. We'll look at another couple of examples. Here I have a decimal number. So again, first I'm going to write down its place values. So units, always before the decimal point is the units, and after it is the tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millionths, 10 millionths. Now I'm going to skip straight to the powers of 10. As we know from before, the units was 10 to the power 0, tenths was 10 to the power minus 1, hundredths is minus 2, 10 to the power minus 3 here, 10 to the power minus 4, 10 to the power minus 5, millions is 10 to the power minus 6, and 10 millions would be 10 to the power minus 7. Now to write it in standard form, I look at the first non-zero digit from the left, which is this one here. Okay, 4. So I'm going to write 4 as my unit. and then a decimal point after that, and all the digits after that will come after the decimal point. So 4.371 multiplied by a power of 10. What power of 10? Well, I look at its place value. It's 10 to the power minus 4 because it's 10 thousandths. And there we go. That's in standard form. Okay. Now let's have a look at another example. Sometimes you have a number which is slightly like this. It's not really in standard form. Yep. Okay, let me move this here. So it is not in standard form, but it is written like this, and they ask you to convert it into standard form. So again, the starting point is, you convert this into, you write down your place values, units, tenths, hundreds, hundreds, thousandths. Okay, so what we can do is write down the powers again: 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 2, that's 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this part the same, multiplied by 10 to the power 3. Leave it as it is. And then I'm going to write this number in standard form. Okay, so same way as before, I look at the first non-zero digit from the left. In this case, it's the 6. So that'll be written as a unit, 6.18315. And then I look at its place value, it's hundreds, so I multiply by 10 to the power 2. Now I use the index laws to multiply these two. So the bases are the same. So that would become 6.18315 multiplied by 10 to the power 2 plus 3, which is the same as 6.18315 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. Okay, so when the bases are the same, this number is called a base, and you're multiplying, you can add the powers. And the reason for that is just quickly, so if I was to write here 10 squared times 10 cubed, the reason for that is this is the same as 100. 10 squared is 10 times 10, which is 100, multiplied by 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. That is 100,000, which is the same as 10 to the power 5. But instead of going through all those steps, you can just add the powers if the bases are the same and you're multiplying. If you were dividing, you'd do the opposite, but the bases would subtract, but the bases need to be the same. Okay, one last example. And in this case, again, I'm going to start off by writing down the place values. I've got a decimal number now. Again, to confuse you, it's not written in standard form, but it looks like it. So to write a number like this, units, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths, and the last one's millionths. Sorry about that. So place value, no, we've done the place values, the powers of 10, 10 to the power 0 for the units. This is 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 3, 10 to the power minus 4, 10 to the power minus 5. And this one is 10 to the power minus 6. So I look at the first non-zero digit from the left, which is a 3, and I'm going to write it as a unit. Remember, this part I'm going to leave it as it is, 10 to the power minus 2. Do not change it. Write this 3 as a unit because it's the first non-zero digit from the left. So 3.18 multiplied by a power of 10, which is 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, and then I just multiply these two, so that will give me 3.18 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4 plus minus 2, which is the same as 3.18 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 6, well, minus 4, minus 2, plus minus, it will give you minus 4 minus 2, which is the same as 3.18 times 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, and that's how you write this kind of number in standard form. Hopefully this video helped. All the best with your studies, inshallah. Keep working hard, and inshallah results are from Allah. Thank you for listening and watching, and I shall see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.